Coming up on Carolina News, sweeping voting legislation is making its way through Congress. We'll be live at the State House with what South Carolina Republicans think of the bill.
And how to get your vaccine.
If you come with me on this journey, I'll show you how you can get vaccinated with only your basic information and your insurance card.
And get ready for corn dogs and funnel cakes. The drive-through state fair is back, but only for a few days.
How long you have to stop by to get some of your fried favorites. All that and more coming up on Carolina News.
From the University of South Carolina, your news, your sports, your weather. Carolina News begins now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Connor Lomas.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Carter. Sweeping legislation is making its way through Congress that would expand Americans' access to voting.
Yeah, and that's right. The For the People Act passed the House and is on its way to Senate, but many GOP lawmakers are speaking out against the bill.
That bill includes Governor Henry McMaster and Senator Lindsey Graham. Ward Jolles is live at the State House, where the two held a press conference just hours ago. Ward?
In and of itself, the bill is pretty simple. What it does is it expands voter registration to more people and makes it easier for more Americans to vote. But today, GOP Senator Lindsey Graham and Governor Henry McMaster are speaking out against the bill, saying that it gives too much power to the federal government and to the Democratic Party.
But this bill, H.R. 1, threatens the constitutional sovereignty of the state of South Carolina. Now, those are not just words. That's very important.
The South Carolina GOP speaking out today against House Bill H.R. 1, also known as the For the People Act 2021. The 750-page legislation's primary goals are to make it easier for people to register to vote, make voting faster and more convenient, restore voting rights for former felons, end partisan gerrymandering, and increase election security. And the bill has widespread support from voters. A recent poll from Data for Progress shows over 2/3 of all voters are in support of the bill. But the bill's bad news for many Republicans.
This, to me, is a very serious attempt to alter the balance of power, to centralize in the federal government a voting system that's ripe for fraud at the expense of every American who wants to vote fairly.
GOP officials who typically benefit from gerrymandering and stricter voting laws say the lengthy legislation is nothing more than a partisan power grab, which could have wide-ranging implications in somewhere like South Carolina.
This is the biggest power grab in modern American history, being pushed by the most radical people in modern American history.
And of course, because places like Georgia are receiving increasing national attention because of their stricter voting laws, some GOP lawmakers are getting worried that sweeping voter legislation like H.R. 1 could pass through Congress fairly quickly. Reporting outside of the State House, Ward Jolles, Carolina News.
Thanks, Ward. Lawmakers are under pressure at the State House before a key legislative deadline on Thursday. The deadline makes it harder to take up issues with a lot of opposition. Any bill that passes their House or Senate after the deadline has to get a 2/3 vote in the other chamber. A few bills that they are trying to pass: the hate crimes bill in the House and a Senate bill allowing medical marijuana.
Well, Megan, we are having a beautiful day here in Columbia.
Yep, it feels great out there, and our Peter Vance is live to tell us how the weather is outside.
It's beautiful out here right now. The sun is beating down. I can barely look up. We've got people over to my left playing catch, enjoying this nice weather. The clear skies are not here to stick around. We will be getting some clouds, but those warmer temperatures are here to stay. So it's some great news for you all. Back to you for now.
Thanks, Peter. One Columbia Mall is set to become the latest mass vaccination site in the area. The Columbia Place Mall on Two Notch Road will start giving out the vaccine next Wednesday. It's part of a partnership between the White House and the state of South Carolina. The site was chosen based off multiple factors, including socioeconomic status. They are set to give out 1,000 shots a day.
With more people eligible to get vaccinated, you may be wondering how you can register for a vaccine. With 3 different vaccines and many different healthcare providers carrying vaccines, the process can be daunting.
Yes, it can, but our own Dylan Leatherwood wanted to take a look at how to register, at least for one healthcare provider, in a step-by-step tutorial. Dylan is breaking down how to get vaccinated with Prisma Health.
If you come with me on this journey, I'll show you how you can get vaccinated with only your basic information and your insurance card. Today, we're going to schedule our COVID-19 vaccine through Prisma Health. After loading their website, click on My Chart. We're starting from scratch with no activation code. From there, create a Prisma account with just your basic information. With our account created, it's time to schedule our appointment. Click on Menu and click on COVID-19 Vaccine Scheduling. This is your chance to pick the time and location of your vaccine appointment. For this next part, you will need a physical copy of your insurance card. Prisma needs the information and a front and back picture of the card. After that, you can save these settings to make the second dose even easier to schedule. After you make sure you have your license, the only thing left is to hit the road. As we navigate the cones, my heart's racing. I'm not a fan of needles, however, it ended up being painless.
Pretty bad arm soreness tomorrow, okay? It's going to kind of feel like somebody's hauled off and punched you real good in the arm, okay?
Okay.
Some people experience flu-like symptoms, but not very many. And you're all set.
Oh, that was easy.
See?
Kayla Harby, a volunteer for the National Guard, says the paperwork can get a little tedious, but overall, the system is very user-friendly.
It seems like it's run pretty smoothly, and all the registers really know what they're doing. So that's really cool. Like all the registers I've worked with are like super amazing.
Now that I got my card, it's time for the easiest part of all.
Make sure you drink plenty of fluids today, stay hydrated, and eat some food, okay?
You don't have to tell me twice. On the move for Carolina News, I'm Dylan Leatherwood.
Dylan was able to register and get vaccinated in the same day, and the entire process only took about 30 minutes.
If you would like to schedule a vaccine appointment or have any questions or concerns about the vaccine, you can visit DHEC's or Prisma Help's website to learn more.
Here in South Carolina, all people over the age of 16 are eligible to get the vaccine, and now President Biden wants the rest of the country to catch up sooner than expected. The president just announced that every adult will be able to get the COVID vaccine by April 19th. That's 2 weeks earlier than the past deadline of the 1st. Right now, all states have opened up eligibility or have announced they plan on it by the end of the month. For nearly a year now, sports stadiums have been piping in crowd noise, but they didn't need to outside Dallas last night. Take a look at this. The Texas Rangers played in front of a sold-out crowd. It was the most people to fill a stadium in the U.S. since the pandemic began, with over 38,000 fans in attendance. This comes after Texas Governor Greg Abbott lifted all restrictions in the state.
Yeah, I for one think those crowds are wild to see after a year of empty stadiums. How's it going? I'm your sports anchor, Ethan Still. Governor Abbott was set to throw out the first pitch at that Rangers game, but declined after the MLB decided to move the All-Star game from Atlanta. That decision was made after Georgia passed a bill that many say limits voting rights. But now the game has a new home, Denver, Colorado. It's set to be played at Coors Field, home of the Rockies, and the last time the team hosted the All-Star game was in 1998. And the excitement for baseball is growing here in Columbia as well. The Fireflies announced their schedule for the upcoming season early this week, and today they announced an updated seating and logistical protocols. Due to the pandemic, the Fireflies have not played a game in over a year. Lawrence Thompson has more on the much-anticipated season.
It's been a long time since the capital city has seen their minor league baseball team, the Columbia Fireflies, take the field. The Kansas City Royal Low A affiliate has not played a baseball game since September 1st of 2019. Broadcast and Media Relations Manager John Kosis Jr. says the wait has been long, but he's excited to get back to some baseball.
It was really tough, and if I'm being completely honest, I moved here in February of last year to become the broadcaster for the Fireflies. So I moved here now 14 months ago, and I have yet to call a Fireflies game. I'm really excited to call one as the broadcaster of the Columbia Fireflies, and that's coming up in less than a month now.
These games are bringing tons of excitement not only throughout the organization, but for the Columbia area, and Kosis Jr. says that influence is important.
Is the sense of community that we get here in the Midlands, what the impact of what a Fireflies game and having fans out here supporting the community and seeing everything that Columbia has to offer. I think that sense of camaraderie is really important.
With games starting in about a month, business will start to pick up around the area, but specifically here at Segra Park. Fans will finally be able to see some baseball.
Oh, I'm pumped. It's been way too long. I mean, we didn't have an entire last season, so I can't wait for this season of the Fireflies to start back up.
The Fireflies announced ticketing and other updates on policies and procedures, allowing 50% capacity to start the season with the maximum of 5,000 fans at Segra Park. Still not what fans are used to, but baseball is back nonetheless. Lawrence Thompson, Carolina News.
Tickets will be on sale starting April 27th at Segra Park, or you can go to fireflytickets.com.
Thanks, Ethan. We'll see you a little bit later in the show. But coming up next on Carolina News, well, it's been something that everyone's been talking about, and it's the reason that my voice sounds terrible.
Oh yeah, that's right. Why there's so much pollen in the air and why it's worse than most years.